Hello everyone. Namaste to all gazetted officers, IAS, IPS, doctors, surgeons. In this weekly current affairs part 1 from 24th to 31st August 2025, I will bring you the most important 55 updates from science and technology and other current events which are very carefully curated for UPSC, BPSC, state PCS, SSC, SBI, IBPS, NDA, CDS, ACIO, and many other competitive exams. So, my dear aspirants, stay focused, take notes, and remember your dedication today is the stepping stone to your dream tomorrow. Your dedication today is the stepping stone to your dream tomorrow. My dear aspirants, preparation is not a sprint, it is a marathon. Every news you learn today is not just information, it is a brick in building your success story. So, revise, practice, and keep faith in yourself. Remember, winners are not those who never fail. My dear aspirants, always remember, winners are not those who never fail, but those who never quit. So, always believe in yourself. Success in competitive exam is not about reading everything. It is about reading the right things consistently. Every topper once stood where you are today. Unsure but determined. If they could do it, so can you. So we are going to start today's series 23rd to 31st August 2025. First news is unlocking complex thought, a hierarchical reasoning model. So, recent advancement in the field of artificial intelligence have seen the development of a new brain-inspired artificial intelligence model, and the name of the model is hierarchical reasoning model. It was created by researchers at Sapient in Singapore. HRM challenges the conventional large language model architecture used by artificial intelligence giants like Open Artificial Intelligence and Anthropic. So recent development happened in the field of artificial developments, and it has seen the development of new brain inspired artificial model, and the name of the model is hierarchical reasoning model. So despite its small size and limited training data, HRM hierarchical reasoning model has demonstrated superior performance, very nice performance on some of the most demanding tests for artificial general intelligence. About innovation design inspired by human brain, because it has seen the development of new brain which inspired artificial intelligence model. So HRMS architectures mimics the copies the human brain's layered processing. It consists of two interconnected modules. So it consists of two interconnected modules. First one is high level module for slow planning, abstract planning. Second one is low level module for fast detailed computation. So this dual model design contrast with traditional it design contrast with traditional LLMs that depend totally on chain of thought reasoning, CO2 chain of thought reasoning, where problems are broken down step by step sequentially. So this new model developed consists of dual module designed by with a design which is contrast with traditional LLM, and traditional LLM totally depend on chain of thought reasoning. So where problems are broken down sequentially. HRM, hierarchical reasoning model, instead uses iterative refinement, repetitive refinements, improving solution progressively. It improves solution progressively through repeated short burst of thinking. So it uses repeating refinement and gives result progressively, solution progressively through repeated short burst of thinking. What are the limitation of traditional chain of thought reasoning, which is based on traditional LLMs? So chain of thoughts reasoning, while effective, has notable drawbacks, has notable disadvantages also. traditional chain of thought reasoning requires extensive data and suffer from brittle task decomposition, so making it less reliable, less flexible also. So it also introduces latency due to stepwise problem solving. It also introduces latency and slow problems due to stepwise problem solving. HRM's approach avoid these issues. Traditional chain of thought reasoning, because of its introduces latencies, slow stepwise problem solving. So HRM's approach avoid these is issues, avoid this drawback by refining answer continuously rather than following a fixed chain of steps. So traditional chain of thought of reasoning always uses a fixed chain of a step. HRMS approach avoid these disadvantages by giving answer continuously. So hierarchical reasoning models, about the it's had efficient training requirement, adaptive computation, and it has latent reasoning and fixed point convergence. Training framework is also required, input programs, then reason flux is also required, hot template library is needed for analyze and retrieve, and then sample temple trajectories are needed, which collect data, and preference trajectory pairs are required, and the hierarchical reinforcement learning on thought template trajectory is there, and it help in the reason reflux, and then afterward it analyze and retrieve, and thought template library is created. So global planning is required, hierarchical execution is required, searching, coding is required, writing is required, and other skills are also required. So about superior performance on ARC AGI benchmarks. So HRM was tested on ARC AGI benchmark, which is a rigorous evolution of general intelligence capabilities. So rigorous evaluation of general intelligence capabilities. So on the ARC AGI 1 test, HRM scored 40.3%. HRM scored 40. It is tested on the basis of ARC AG1 test, and HRM scored 40.3%, outperforming Open Artificial Intelligence on 03 Mini High 34.5%. Anthropic's Cloud score is 3.7, that is 21.2%, and DeepSeek R1 15.8%. Even in the more challenging ARC AG1 2 test, HRM also again led with 5%, ahead of OpenAI at 3%, DeepSeek at 1.3%, and Cloud at 0.9%. So HRM is leading with all the artificial intelligence. What are the success in complex reasoning tasks? HRM excel at solving complex problems. HRM solves many complex problems that challenges other artificial intelligence models. It is a advantage of HRM. It successfully completed difficult Sudoku puzzle also, and found optimal paths in maze navigation tasks. These achievements of success in complex reasoning tasks show its advanced reasoning and planning abilities beyond standard language model capabilities. It also shows unexpected factors behind HRMS success. There is an independent verification of HRMS results revealed that it is a hierarchical structure, shows that its hierarchical structure is not the main reason for its strong performance, positive performance, and it consists of an under documented refinement process. HRM consists of during training contributed to its effectiveness. So during trainings it consists of an under documented refinement process, and which contributes to its proper effectiveness. This insight points to the importance of training techniques alongside architectural innovation also. So these are the reason behind the HRMS success in artificial intelligence. Key differences from the existing artificial models which are already existing. Unlike ChatGPT or Claude, we always often trust on ChatGPT or Claude. So unlike ChatGPT or Claude, HRM does not depend on linear decomposition of problems. HRM use its two module system and repetitive iterative refinement help more makes it more flexible and efficient in reasoning. This makes it particularly adapted task requiring abstract planning combined with detailed execution. So these are the advantages of HRM success and differences between the existing AI models. Now, next news is semiconductor OSAT pilot line facility. India has taken a major development improvement in semiconductor manufacturing with the inauguration of one of the country's first end-to-end semiconductor OSAT. OSAT full form is Outsourced Semiconductor Assembly and Test. OSAT full form is Outsourced Semiconductor Assembly and Test. So, India has shown a major development in semiconductor manufacturing with the inauguration of one of the country's first end-to-end semiconductor OSAT pilot line facility. So, it is located in Sanad, Gujarat. This facility marks a milestone in India's ambition to become self-dependent in semiconductor design and production. So this launch, OSAT launch, semiconductor pilot line facility OSAT is a part of the India semiconductor mission, and it aims to boost the nation's semiconductor ecosystem under the leadership of Prime Minister. Significance of OSAT pilot line at Sanad, Gujarat is a full-scale plant which is dedicated to chip assembly, packaging, testing, and post-test services. So it uses advanced and traditional packaging technologies to prepare semiconductor chips for customer qualification. So this step is crucial as approved chips enables commercial plants to start full-scale production. The facility is a key element in India's semiconductor journey, showcasing the country's growing capabilities in this strategic sector. About investment and capacity details, CG Semi, the company behind the facility, is investing over 7,600 crore, approximately USD 870 million, to develop two state-of-the-art facility, G1 and G2 in India. So G1 facility inaugurated in 2025 can handle up to 0.5 million units per day. G2 facility under construction nearby will boost capacity to about 14.5 million units daily by the end of year 2026. So together these two plants, G1 and G2 in Gujarat, are expected to generate over 5,000 jobs employment, both direct and indirect. So it gives enjoyment employment also. Semiconductor industry process flow, research and development, design, materials, equipments, distribution, water fabrication, assembly and test, and product manufacturing. So these are the pathway of semiconductor industry process flow. So this pictures the semiconductor supply is a relay race. Design companies like ARM or Qualcomm create the cheap blueprints. Founders, TSMC, Samsung, etc., like manufacture the silicon wafers. Then the baton gets passed to OSATs who transform those wafer into finished tested semiconductor chips, which is ready for integration. Finally, electronics manufacturing services EMS. Finally, electronics manufacturing services EMS companies like Foxconn mount those semiconductor chips onto circuit boards for your iPhone or Tesla. So press enter or click to view image in full and size. So it's you cannot press it. Now, semiconductor sector profit margin percentage 2015 and 2024. It is about the fables, foundry, equipment markets, OSAT market, EMS and materials. OSAT 6%. OSAT is ranked second in the value chain, capturing approximately 6% of profit margin in the semiconductor industry from its operation. The margin hierarchy tells a brutal story about bargaining power, design IP companies, fables, pure licensing gold, profit margins, leading boundaries, approximately 13% margin. Story about all the bargaining. O sets approximately 6 margins. The squeeze is real, and EMS providers approximately 6% margins. So volume game with razor thin profit. So it is showing about the semicon sector profit margin percentage 2015 to 2024. OSAT market share by other countries: Taiwan 41%, China 22%, Malaysia 30%, United States 4%, others 4%, South Korea 5%, Japan 3%, Singapore 2%. Now collaboration and industry support. CG Semi is a joint venture. CG Semi is a joint venture involving CG Power and Industrial Solution Limited, Renesas Electronics Corporation, and Stars Microelectronics. So these are the collaboration and industry support. Company has assembled a team with over 1,000 years of combined semiconductor experience. Indian engineers and technicians have received hand-on training abroad to improve readiness for high-volume operation. The government of Gujarat and the central government provide strong support, making Gujarat as a key semiconductor hub. So these are the collaboration and industry support to make the Gujarat as a semiconductor hub. Features: the G1 plant is equipped with high yield equipment and manufacturing execution support system, which supports level 1 automation and traceability. It also has in-house laboratories for reliability testing and failure analysis also. So it also has G1 plant has in-house laboratories. The facilities is in the process of obtaining ISO 9001 certification and TF 16949 certification for these semiconductor chips, so which ensure international quality in standards. So these two certification is required to ensure in international quality standards, ISO 9001 and IATF 16949. So these features position the facility to serve both domestic and global semiconductor markets for India. About skill development and talent pipeline, by 2032, a global shortage of 1 million semiconductor professionals is expected. So by 2032, very important point, a global shortage of 1 million semiconductor professional is expected. India aims to fill this portion of gap. The government has partnered with 270 universities and provided advanced semiconductor design tools. Recently, these tools were used over 12 million times, resulting in 20 chips designed by 17 institutions and fabricated at the Semiconductor Laboratory in Mohali. So, this initiative empowers Indian youth and strengthen India's semiconductor talent base also. Strategic importance for India. So this launch of OSAT pilot line for semiconductor chips aligns with India's Atmanirbhar Bharat mission. So it reduces dependence on imports and enhances technological sovereignty. So this facility will serve critical sectors such as automotive, defense, infrastructure, and the Internet of Things. So it provides this critical sectors importance also. The project exemplifies effective government industry collaboration also, and it signals India's emergence as a global semiconductor player. So India emerged as a global semiconductor player. Next news is National Biofoundry Network. India Science and Technology Minister Jiten Singh launched the National Biofoundry Network in August 2025. So it aims to accelerate biotechnology, scale up biomanufacturing, and create jobs, help in giving jobs also. So this move supports India growing bioeconomy, which expanded from $10 billion in 2014 to $165.7 billion in 2024. The government targets $300 billion by 2030. About National Biofoundry Network, It includes six institutions. Its purpose is to transform early stage biotechnological ideas into scalable, useful products. So it supports indigenous homemade biomanufacturing and employment generation. It gives different types of employment also. So this network is a key part of Bio E3 policy. This network is a key part of which policy? Bio E3 policy, which promotes biotechnology for economic growth, environment, and health. BioE3 policy and its goal. BioE3 stands for bioeconomy, bioenergy, bioenvironment. BioE3 stands for bioeconomy, bioenergy, bioenvironment. So this policy focuses on developing bio-based products and their commercialization. So it plans to establish bioenablers such as bioartificial intelligence hubs, bio boundaries, biomanufacturing hubs. Six priority sectors includes bio-based chemicals, functional foods, precision biotherapeutics, climate resilience agriculture, carbon capture, and marine and space research. About achievement in the first year, key milestone include the inauguration of India's first biomanufacturing institute in Mohali, Punjab. The Department of Biotechnology launched over a dozen joint research projects in areas like cell and gene therapy, climate smart agriculture, and carbon capture. So, Department of Biotechnology signed a memorandum of understanding with Assam to establish a bioethics cell, encouraging state level partnership also. So, DBT signed a memorandum with Assam to establish a bioethics cell, encouraging state level partnership. India's bioeconomy growth. Bioeconomy utilizes renewable biological resources to produce food, energy, and industrial goods. It supports sustainable development, economic growth. India's bioeconomy contributed 4.25% to GDP in 2025. So India's bioeconomy contributed to 4.25% to GDP in 2024. Key sectors include biopharmaceuticals, biomedicine, bioagriculture, bioindustrial products, and bioscience research. About talent and skill development, talent development is important to technology diffusion. The Department of Biotechnology invest in building a skilled workforce through funding and institutional support. Then this ecosystem helps innovation and strengthens India's position in global biotechnology. So these are the area of biofoundry, environmental monitoring, biosecurity, environmental samples, citizen scientists, public funds, automation and engineering, and biological and ecological sciences, and community engagement, education, distributed surveillance, biomanufacturing. So these are the area covered by the biofoundry. Next news is Japan releases artificial intelligence video showing Mount Fuji eruption. Japan has recently released an artificial intelligence generated video simulating an eruption of Mount Fuji. This video depicts ash clouds covering Tokyo, disrupting transport and communication and causing power failures, outages. It advises residents to prepare by stocking food and wearing protective gear. So the release coincide with Volcano Disaster Prevention Day as part of Japan's ongoing efforts to raise awareness about volcanic hazards despite no immediate eruption threats. About Mount Fuji's volcanic status, Mount Fuji is an active volcano. It last erupted in 1707, though currently quiet. 1907, currently quiet, it remains capable of erupting in the futures. 17 not, it's 1907. So the active volcanoes have a magma supply beneath the surface. Dormant volcanoes have not erupted for centuries but can still awaken. Exist volcanoes no longer connect to magma store. Japan's authorities use such occasion to remind people of preparedness measures. Purpose of artificial intelligence video release. The video was launched on 26th August, marking the anniversary of Japan's first volcano observation in 1911. It aims to educate the public on potential eruption impacts and safety protocol also. Some experts consider the video alarmist, fearing it may cause unnecessary panic or harm tourism. Some experts are thinking. Others suggest it reflects official caution after the 2011 Tohoku earthquakes and tsunami caught the nation off guard. About volcanic eruption mechanics, volcanoes form from openings in the Earth's crust linked to magma chambers. When magma rises and erupts, it becomes lava. Eruption releases as rocks, lava flows, and can bury settlements. As clouds can travel vast, long distances and are hard to clear as they do not melt, as do not as cloud do not melt. Steam blast eruption may occur suddenly with little warning. About prediction of volcanic eruption are challenging to predict very accurately. So seismic activity often precedes eruption as magma movement causes earthquakes. So seismic activity often come before eruption as magma movement reason of earthquake. Ground deformation, heat anomalies, and changes in groundwater chemistry can signal unrest. However, some eruptions occur without clear precursor. Volcanoes may show warning signs for years without eruption, complicating prediction efforts. There are some challenges in monitoring volcanoes. Many volcanoes erupt infrequently, limiting data for analysis. Each eruption is unique, so past pattern may not predict future events because every eruption is different type. Long periods of unrest, such as those at Italy's Campi Flegrei, which illustrates the difficulty in determining eruption timing. Continuous monitoring and public education remain crucial for disaster preparedness. So, continuous monitoring and public education is important for disaster preparedness. Next news is quadruple star system. Recent research has revealed a unique quadruple star system in our galaxy named UPM J10403551 capital A small a b capital B small a b. So name of that unique quadruple star system in our galaxy UPM J 10403551 capital A small a b capital B small a b. So it consists of two cold brown dwarfs orbiting a pair of young red dwarf stars. So these consist of quadruple star system consists of two cold brown dwarf star orbiting a pair of young red dwarf stars. So this rare configuration has never been observed before. The finding promises new important information about the nature of brown dwarfs and star formation. Brown dwarfs and star formation. What is the quadruple star system? So the system consists of four celestial bodies grouped in two pairs. One pair is young red dwarf star, common and relatively bright in color. The other pair consists of cold brown dwarfs, faint in colors, faint objects about the size of a Jupiter. Other pair consists of cold brown dwarfs, faint in color, faint objects, which is about the size of Jupiter. The brown dwarfs orbit the red dwarfs in an hierarchical arrangement. So this system is unique because brown dwarfs rarely have companions, are seldom found in multiple star system, and these are seldom found in multiple star system. About brown dwarfs. Now, characteristic of brown dwarfs are objects that form like stars from gas clouds. Brown dwarfs are actually gas clouds, but it appears like objects that form like stars. The brown dwarfs are objects that form like stars from gas clouds. From gas clouds. but it lacks the mass needed to sustain hydrogen fusion. This makes them failed star because they lack to sustain hydrogen fusion. They share traits with gas giant planets such as thick atmosphere containing water molecules and clouds. So they share characteristic like gas giant planets which consist of thick atmosphere containing water molecules and clouds. So brown dwarfs can be up to 70 times the mass of Jupiter but release very little visible light. But it releases very little visible light due to their low temperatures. So, four stars, one planet of the 30 Arietis system are illustrated in this diagram. This quadruple star system consists of two pairs of a star, 30 Rib and 30 Rib. So, double star system, planets 30 Rib, 30 Rib, both double star system orbit a planet in space between the two systems. So there are challenges in detecting brown dwarfs. Brown dwarfs are difficult to detect to know because they emit light, little light and a cold. So astronomers often find them by observing brighter companion stars, nearby stars. When brown dwarf orbit stars, scientists can study the brighter stars to inferior property of the brown dwarf, such as age, temperature, and chemical composition. So, this method improves understanding of these elusive objects. About scientific importance of this discovery of this quadruple system helps scientists study how brown dwarfs form and evolve. Since the stars and brown dwarfs likely formed together, they share the same origin. This provides a natural laboratory to compare their properties. The rarity of such system, especially with two T-type brown dwarfs, make this discovery a breakthrough in stellar astronomy. So, what discoveries two T-type brown dwarfs make this discovery a breakthrough in stellar astronomy. What are the implications for in astronomy? After studying brown dwarf, it contributes to knowledge about star and planet formation also. It also helps in estimating the mass distribution in the universe. It also helps in understanding this distribution because much of the universe mass is invisible, known as dark matter. Universe mass is invisible mass is dark matter. So brown dwarfs help fill gaps in this cosmic puzzle by revealing the population of low mass objects, by knowing the population of low mass object. Next news is rising hysterectomy rates among Indian women. Recent data reveal an alarming rise in hysterectomy surgeries among Indian women, especially those aged between 30 to 40. So this trend is most pronounced in states more popular in states like Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, Bihar, and Gujarat. So most pronounced in state, most popular in state like Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, Bihar, and Gujarat. This surgery often performed to treat menstrual disorders and uterine condition, which is which is increasingly done at younger ages, which poses which is giving health risk. The issue intertwines medical, social, and economic factors, which is raising concern about healthcare quality and women's welfare. About prevalence and demographics of rising hysterectomy rates among Indian women, nearly 10% of women aged 40 to 49 in India have undergone hysterectomy. 10%. In some states, the rate exceeds 20%. The median age of surgery is as low as 34 in rural areas and 36 in urban centers. So, women in agricultural work, especially in sugarcane fields, show higher rates due to perceived work benefits. Rural, less educated women are disproportionately affected despite limited access to surgical facilities. So these are the reasons. About health implication, removing the uterus before natural menopause can cause early onset of menopause. So it leads to increased risk of heart disease, cardiovascular disease, many metabolic disorders, loss of bone density, and mental health issues also. Other complications include ovarian failures, thyroid and urinary tract cancer, pelvic prolapse. Early hysterectomy thus reduces women's long term health and women's quality of life also. So, more women in agri undergo treatments. Prevalence of hysterectomy amongst women across India. So, Maharashtra, Bihar, Andhra Pradesh, Karnataka, Kerala, India. Professional agriculture, Bihar, agriculture, Andhra Pradesh. Then Karnataka ratio is given. Kerala, India. So total professional agriculture and others, Maharashtra 3.8, Bihar 8.6, Andhra Pradesh 12.6, Karnataka 4.3, Kerala 2.5, India, and it becomes total overall India's becomes 4.8. So, an Indian women living in a rural areas who is uneducated, obese, and has health insurance is more likely to undergo a hysterectomy than an urban woman with a desk job, according to a new statistical analysis study. Agricultural women workers were 32% more likely to go under the surgery compared to other occupational group. So in India, studies have consistently found rising hysterectomy rates among young women's. National Family Health Survey 2015-16 data estimates hysterectomy prevalence to be 3.6% among women 30 to 30 between 30 to 39 years. So hysterectomy is a surgical process in which there is a removal of uterus take place and sometimes surrounding organs and tissue. So it can be classified as partial hysterectomy. It means removal of the uterus. Total hysterectomy, removal of the uterus and cervix. Radial hysterectomy, removal of the uterus, cervix, part of vagina and surrounding tissue. So this process can be performed through the vagina or through a incision in the abdomen. So issues with such surgery, overuse and unnecessary procedures, psychological, emotional impact on body, surgical risk and complication is also there. So damage, infection and damage to surrounding organs, long-term health effect is on hormones and bone health. Patient autonomy and informed consent. Patients should be fully informed about the process and involved in decision making. Despite there are differences in access to healthcare, it may contribute to overuse, particularly among marginalized communities. About concern and petition, a public interest litigation highlighted the occurrence of unnecessary hysterectomies in the state of Bihar, Chhattisgarh, and Rajasthan under government healthcare schemes. So, which states? States are Bihar, Chhattisgarh, and Rajasthan. A public interest litigation highlighted the occurrence of unnecessary hysterectomies. Now, there is this many marginalized women were targeted, such as SC, ST, and other background communities, were disproportionately affected. Now, there are some misuse and insurance fraud also. Healthcare institutions were found to be misusing hysterectomies to claim high insurance fees from the government under various health insurance schemes. There is some violation of fundamental rights also. The recent judgment acknowledged that rising hysterectomy rates among women in India deviate from trends observed in developed countries. So it is a very important point to hysterectomy rates among young women in India different from trends observed in developed countries. So it recognizes the violation of fundamental rights, stating that unnecessary hysterectomies infringe upon the right to health and the right to life under Article 21 of the Constitution. There are some medical system and insurance influence also. Private healthcare dominance in India, similar to the United States, encourages unnecessary surgeries. Insurance coverage often leads to over prescription due to moral hazard. About 70% of hysterectomies occur in private clinics. So, very important point, 70% of hysterectomies should be conducted in private clinics. So, research show poor rural women are sometimes advised hysterectomy for minor gynecological issue. They see the women is having little gynecologic issue, and doctor is prescribing hysterectomy without alternative treatments, without giving any treatments. About the government response, the National Health Authority introduced pre-authorization for hysterectomy claims under Ayushman Bharat. Women under 40 required a second gynae opinion and clinical evidence before surgery approval. The Union Health Ministry has issued guidelines to monitor unnecessary hysterectomies. Committees at district, state, and national level have been proposed to track surgeries in public and private sectors also. There are need for awareness, conservative treatments for menstrual disorders like hormonal pills and intrauterine devices are underutilized. Educating women on this option can reduce unnecessary surgeries. Giving detailed data on payment methods and insurance role in hysterectomy trends is essential for informed policy making. About what are the broader concern, the hysterectomy epidemic may reflect a legacy of population control mindset. With India's fertility rate below replacement level, such practices have demographic implication. So this trend also marks market failure in healthcare due to asymmetric information and lack of accountability in private insurance funded system. So this drives up health cost and strain public resources. Government action and guidelines are also there. Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, Bihar, the ratio is given in this slide. So, Health Ministry has closely monitored the issue of hysterectomies and requested the state to share data on hysterectomy cases. Compulsory audits for all hysterectomies are advised, similar to those conducted for maternal mortality in both public and private healthcare institutions. In 2022, the Mental Health Ministry issued guidelines to prevent unnecessary hysterectomies and urge states to comply with them. So data is given about the Andhra Pradesh, Telangana and Bihar. 8.9, 8.7, 7.7, 8.2, 5.4, 6.0. So it is given about the data of the proportion of hysterectomy cases in percentage Punjab, Andhra Pradesh, Karnataka, Telangana, years 15 to 19 years, 30 to 34 years, female between 35 to 39, female between 40 to 44, and female between 45 to 49. Next news is Maruti Suzuki e-Vitara electric vehicle. India marked a milestone in green mobility with the launch of Maruti Suzuki first battery e-vehicle, the e-Vitara, and a lithium-ion battery production facility in Hansalpur, Gujarat. Prime Minister inaugurated the event, denoting India's growing role in sustainable transportation and the Make in India initiative. The e-Vitara will be manufactured domestically and exported to over 100 countries, showcasing India's expanding footprint in the global vehicle market. What are the strategic importance of Maruti Suzuki e-Vitara electric vehicles? The launch took place at Maruti Suzuki Hansalpur plant, a symbol of India's Japan industrial partnership. Lithium-ion battery facility, which is a joint venture with Suzuki, Toshiba, and Denso, will produce hybrid battery electrodes locally. So this reduces India's dependence on imports and support the government push for self-reliance under Atmanirbhar Bharat. The Prime Minister referred to the event as a new chapter in India's Make in India journey, coinciding with Ganesh Utsav. E-Vitara's significance and features is E-Vitara is Maruti Suzuki Divert electric SUV. It offers two lithium iron phosphate battery option, 49 kilowatt hour and 61 kilowatt hours. Both front wheel drive and all wheel drives variants are available, catering to diverse consumer needs. The vehicle features modern design elements such as LED headlamps, 18 by 19-inch alloy wheels, a digital instrument cluster, touchscreen attainments, JBL audio, 360-degree cameras. So these are the, and then ADAS, advanced driver assistant system are also there. Market impact and export potential. Electric vehicle currently make up about 3% of India car sale. The e-Vitara aims to accelerate electrical vehicle adoption domestically and establish India as a global electrical vehicle manufacturing hub. Exports from Gujarat will reach over 100 countries, including Japan and Europe. Suzuki Motor Corporation has committed to investing 70,000 crore in India over the next 5-6 years, signaling strong confidence in the country's automotive sector. Government initiative and industrial growth. This launch aligns with several government policies promoting clean energy and manufacturing growth, industrial corridors, production linked incentives, logistic parks, and ease of doing business reforms support this expansion. Electronics production has increased fivefold since 2014, mobile manufacturing by 27 times, and defense production doubled. The National Critical Mineral Mission aims to explore rare earth minerals which are essential for electrical vehicle batteries, help in reducing dependence on imports. Next news is New World Screw-worm parasite. The United States recently confirmed its first human case of New World screwworm infestation. The case involved a traveler from El Salvador and was identified in early August 2025. Authorities say the risk to public health remains low. This event marks the potential re-existent re-emergence of a parasite once eradicated, totally removed from the origin. What is New World screwworm, which is the recently discovered from a traveler from El Salvador and was identified in early August 2025. New World screwworm are blue-gray blowflies native to South America and the Caribbean. Female flies lay eggs on open wounds. It lays female fly lay eggs on open wounds or natural body opening of warm-blooded animals and rarely humans. Each female can lay up to 3,000 eggs during her lifespan is only 10 to 30 days, but it lays up to 3,000 eggs. The egg hatches into larvae and are called maggots, and that eggs hatches into about 3,000 eggs the female can lay, and it this eggs hatches into larva, and that larva is called maggots, which burrow into living flesh, feeding on tissue. The maggots later drop to the soil and mature into adult flies. The name screwworms comes from the larvas, which look like a screw-like burrowing action. It because it burrow like a screw action. Symptoms and effect: if it is infected, infestation causes painful wounds and that often worsen over time. Symptoms includes non-healing sores, bleeding movement sensation in the wound, and foul odors, bad smell. If untreated, larva can invade sensitive tissues such as the brain also. This can lead to severe infection like sepsis and has a high death risk. The infestation also attracts more flies, increasing the severity and spread to the condition. So, myiasis is a parasitic infestation of fly larvae, maggots, and human tissue. New World screwworm is a species of parasitic flies that can cause myiasis in human tissue and feed on live tissue. So, it primarily affects livestock and it can also infest people. And a New World screwworm is typically found in South America and Caribbean. So, if you are anyone at high risk for New World screwworm, if you travel in these areas, the areas are South America and Caribbean, and where the flies are. And if you have that person has an open wound. New World screwworms infestation begin when a female fly lay eggs on open wounds or other parts of the body in live, warm-blooded animals. So it primarily affects livestock but also infests birds and people. The smell of a wound or an opening such as nose, mouth or eyes, umbilical cord of a newborn animal, or genitals will attract these female flies. Wounds are as small as a tick bite may attract a female fly to feed and lay her eggs. So the historical eradication in the United States, it was stated that it was eradicated, means removed totally. The United States eradicated New World screwworms in 1966 using the sterile with the help of sterile insect technique. This method involved breeding billions of sterile male females, infertile male flies, and releasing them to mate with females. Mating with sterile males prevented reproduction and breaking the parasite's life cycle. So, in this way, United States eradicated New World screwworm in 1966 using the sterile insect technique. So this technique also helped eliminate screwworms in Mexico and Central America. In the year by the early 2000, in 2017 it was used again to control a small outbreak in Florida also. Reason for recent re-emergence, what are the reason for recent re-emergence? New cases have appeared in Panama, Costa Rica, Nicaragua, and Honduras recently. Experts suspect that the parasite's return is linked to the movement of infested livestock across borders. Another concern is that sterile insect technique may be less effective against the current screwworm strains. These factors combined pose challenges for controlling the parasite spread in the Americas. About public health and control measure, while the current risk in the United States is low, surveillance and prompt diagnosis are critical. Awareness among travelers and healthcare providers help early detection. Continued use and improvement of sterile insect release programs remain important. Cross border cooperation is also important to manage livestock movement and reduce infestation risk. Next news is India's designated authority for carbon trading. India has recently established a national designated authority to manage carbon emission trading under the 2015 Paris Agreement. So this move follows the finalization of Article 6 at the 29th United Nations Climate Change Conference of Parties COP29 held in Baku, Azerbaijan in November 2024. So, India has recently established a national designated authority to manage emission of carbon trading under the 2015 Paris agreements. And this movement follows the finalization of Article 6 at the 29th United Nations Climate Change Conference of Paris held in Baku, Azerbaijan in November 2024. So, and the NDA is important step towards operationalizing a carbon market to meet India's climate's commitment. About the background of Article 6 and carbon market, Article 6 of Paris Agreements outlines the framework for international carbon emission trading. It also enables countries to cooperate in achieving their emission reduction targets from market mechanism. The article was a contentious issue for years and was only resolved in late 2024. So it is creating so many contention dispute for years and was now only resolved in late 2024. The agreement ensures transparency and credibility in carbon credit generation and trading. About formation and composition, India's NDA is a 21 member committee which is led by the Secretary of Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change. Members include officials from the Ministries of External Affairs, Steel, Renewable Energy and the Policy think tank Niti Aayog. The Environment Ministry holds the largest representation. The NDA acts as a central authority for carbon market governance in India. So, Article 6, the center has a finalized 21-member national designated authority to enable India's carbon market. So, it is a mandatory step under Article 6 of the Paris Agreement. So, what is Article 6? Article 6.4, Article 6.2, Article 6.8. So, Article 6.2 host country transfer articles units to buyer country through the bilateral agreements. And Article 6.4 host country generates units through a UNFCCC centralized mechanism, transform them to buyer country. Then Article 6.8 between non-market. Article 6.2 between market, Article 6.4 between market and non-market, and Article 6.8 between non-market. So about National Designated Authority for Carbon Markets, NDA. So such a statutory requirement under Article 6 created by the Environment Ministry, NDA, National Designated Authority for Carbon Markets. It serves as a nodal body to regulate, approve, and monitor carbon market activities in India. National Designated Authority to regulate, approve, and monitor carbon markets activity in India. It is a 21-member committee chaired by the Environment Secretary. It includes representatives from External Affairs, Steel, Renewable Energy, Power, and Niti Aayog. Multi-sector structures ensure alignment with both domestic priorities and international obligation. About the function of National Designated Authority, NDA, it project approvals, generating emission reduction units, national criteria is also there for trading aligned with India's sustainability goals. In monitoring is also there to update and revise eligible activities in line with national priorities and climate commitment, and authorize the use of emission reduction units for meeting India's national designated authority NDC targets. International rules represent India in the Article 6 frameworks. It help in representing India in Article 6 frameworks, help in facilitating credit transferred with other nations. Significance of NDA for India is support NDC to reduce reduce carbon emission intensity by 45% by 2030 from 2005 levels. It boosts clean energies in renewables and low carbon projects. Article 6 of Paris Agreement. Article 6 set rules for international carbon markets, allowing countries to trade emission reduction credits. It is established in COP29 in Baku after years of negotiation in 2024. It's helped nation meet their national determined contributories NDCs by reducing emission. So it helps nation, Paris Article 6 of Paris agreements, it helps nation to meet their national determined contribution NDC by reducing carbon emission cost effectively through market based mechanism. It also creates framework for bilateral trading, credit authorization, and sustainable development goals. The establishment of the NDA markets is a significant step in India's engagement with international carbon markets and the clean environment mechanism (CDM). It also facilitates help the generate generation and trading of certified emission reduction and other carbon credits, enhancing market liquidity and supporting decarbonization efforts. The NDA will play important role in implementing carbon pricing and developing both compliance and voluntary carbon markets in India. So this includes overseeing a scheme like Perform, Achieve, and Trade PAT scheme, which generates energy saving certificates and potentially expanding into new areas of carbon credit generation. So, what are the role and responsibility? The NDA recommends which activities qualify for emission reduction trading under Article 6. It continuously updates this list, which is based on national sustainability goals and priorities. The body evaluates, approves, and authorizes projects that generates emission reduction units. It also sanctions the use of these units for India's national determined contribution compliance. India's national determined contribution targets including reduction the emission intensity of its GDP by 45% by the year 2030 compared to 2005 levels. It aims to achieve 50% of electric power capacity from non-fossil fuel sources by 2030. Additionally, India plans to create a carbon sink of 2.5 to 3 billion tons of CO2 equivalent through afforestation by 2030. The NDA also support this goal by facilitating carbon credit trading. So what are the significance of carbon market? The carbon market will help India mobilize investment in clean technologies, in renewable energy. It provides economic incentive for emission reduction while ensuring environment integrity. So the NDA's role is important to maintain transparency and avoid double counting of emission reduction. So this system aligns India with global climate action efforts. Next one is news is Bloom syndrome. Bloom syndrome is a rare genetic disorder with fewer than 300 cases reported worldwide. Recently, a 12-year-old girl in Chennai underwent a bone marrow transplant using stem cell from her younger brother, marking medical intervention in India. So, this disorder affects DNA repair mechanism leading to multiple health challenges and a high risk of cancer. So it was noticed when the Chennai girl, 12-year girl, underwent a bone marrow transplantation with the help of a stem cell taken from her younger brother and noticed some medical genetic disorder, rare genetic disorder. So, genetic basis and inheritance of Bloom syndrome is caused by mutation in the BLM gene. So, this gene produces a protein which is important for maintaining DNA structure. BLM gene during replication and repair. So, this gene is important to maintain the DNA structure during DNA replication and DNA repair. When mutated cell lost the ability to fix damaged DNA, causing abnormal cell growth. Reason is the mutation. So it lost the ability to fix damaged DNA and causes the abnormal cell growth. So this condition is inherited in an autosomal recessive pattern. So this is a autosomal recessive disease which is inherited. Both parents must carry the mutation for a child to be affected. The child will be affected if the both the parents consist of mutated DNA, mutated gene. It is a most because it is a autosomal recessive disease. Bloom syndrome. So it is most common among the Ashkenazi Jewish population but occurs worldwide. So these are the syndromes. A person is suffering from short stature, high pitch voice, learning disabilities, recurrent infection of the respiratory tract, ears, lungs during infection, increased risk of diabetes, distinctive facial features, phototoxicity. So these are the problems associated with the Bloom syndrome. So, sign and symptoms are vary widely, but often include poor growth before and after birth of that child. Affected individual typically have below average height, head size, with distinct facial features such as narrow face, prominent ears, high pitch voice, rashes on body when it goes under the sunlight, and abnormal pigmentation and insulin resistance can lead to diabetes. Immune system is weak. Ear and lung infection, chronic obstructive pulmonary diseases. Other issues include hypothyroidism, development delays, and fertility problem in adults. So these are the issues. Intellectual, these are the problem. Intellectual abilities are also usually normal, but learning disability may occur in this case. The patient is suffering from Bloom syndrome. What are the health complications? People with Bloom syndrome face a markedly increased risk of cancer, often develop it early in life. So the patient have increased risk of cancer, which often develop it early in life. So by age 40, over 80% develop cancer such as blood cancer, leukemia, lymphoma, gastrointestinal cancer, skin cancer, Wills tumor, and osteosarcoma. So risk of cancer is 150 to 300 times higher than in the general population. So this in the general population. As compared to the general population, the risk of cancer is 150 to 300 times higher. So these cancer appear more frequently and at younger ages. at young to its effects mostly young population. About the diagnosis and management, diagnosis is confirmed through cytogenetic analysis, which detects chromosome abnormalities. So the analysis is done through cytogenetic analysis. There is a no cure for Bloom syndrome. No cure for Bloom syndrome. Treatment focuses on managing symptoms and preventing complication only, but no permanent cure. So this includes careful fluid management in infants, antibiotic for infection, immunoglobulin therapy for immune deficiency patient, and regular monitoring for diabetes and thyroid problems. So these are the only that managing symptom and preventing complication. Patient are advised to avoid sun exposure and have frequent dermatological checkups. Cancer screening is essential due to high risk. Bloom syndrome in India, though rare, cases have been reported in India also. Medical literature documents a few instances, including children and adults with respiratory complication and the symptoms are seen. The recent bone marrow transplant in Chennai marks advances in treatment option available in India also. So, Bloom syndrome is an inherited disorder characterized by short stature, skin rash, high risk of cancer. People with Bloom syndrome is usually smaller than 97% of the population in both height and weight from birth. Affected individual skin sensitives and skin rash under sunlight, small cluster of enlarged blood vessel, which is called telangia giactasis, and often appear in the rash. Telangiectasis can occur in the eyes also. Other skin features include patches of skin that are lighter or darker than the surrounding area, means hypo and hyperpigmentation. People with Bloom syndrome have an increased risk of cancer. So these are about the Bloom syndrome. Next news is integrated eardrop test. The Indian Space Research Organization achieved milestone on 24th August by successfully conducting its first integrated eardrop test. This test is important for Gaganyaan mission, India's maiden human space flight program. So this trial demonstrated the real reliability of parachute parachute based deceleration system, which is designed to safety return astronauts to earth. The Indian Space Research Organization successfully conducted its first integrated teardrop test IADT-1, which is important for Gaganyaan mission, which is the first India's maiden human space flight program, which describe and demonstrated the with the help of parachute based deceleration system, which is designed to safety return of astronauts to earth. Safety return of astronauts to earth. So this achievement marks a key step towards human rating India's space flight launch and recovery system. About integrated teardrop test, it involved dropping a dummy crew capsule weighing around 5 tons from a Chinook helicopter. The capsule descended several kilometers while its parachutes deployed in a precise sequence. This sequence slowed the capsule to a safe splashdown speed. The test validated the parachute system's performance under real world conditions. During actual mission, the parachute will deploy after atmospheric re-entry and initial declaration by heat seals and rock parachutes. About the significance of integrated teardrop over system, which is important for Gaganyaan mission, it is in the ascent, descent, and splashdown phases of Gaganyaan pose the highest risk to astronaut. So this parachute system is important to ensure a controlled and safe handling, also safely return astronauts to Earth. It also confirms the crew module's declaration system can function reliably during these critical phases. This success builds confidence in the safety measure for human Space lift. So it is an integrated airdrop system, crew module release and parachute deployment, stabilizer parachute cutoff, apex cover separation, and SES motor firing, drop suit deployment, three pilot chutes deployed, three main chutes extracted, fully deployed main chutes landing. So about airdrop test one is nearly 5 tons was dropped from an Indian Air Force Chukuk helicopter, Chinook helicopter at an altitude of about 30 kilometers to test the parachute based declaration system. It will show the crew module during re-entry and ensure a safe splashdown. Parachute sequence first drop chutes followed by three main parachutes, slowing the capsule to about 8 meters per second before landing on Earth. The touchdown matched expectations, successfully validating the design from human re-entry and landing. Roadmap, it is a roadmap for Gaganyaan. Its objective is to send Indian astronauts to low Earth orbit on a human-rated LVM-3 rocket. On a human rated, the rocket is LVM-3 rocket. A series about validation test. There are many series of safety validation tests are planned before the crewed mission. About crew escape system, it is already tested with TVD1 in October 2023. TVD2 will demonstrate a more complex about scenario. So about collaborative national effort, there is a collaboration of ISRO's test integrated efforts from multiple national agencies. The collaboration with the Indian Air Force, Defense Research and Development Organization, Navy and Coast Guard. So this coordination is important for human rating the launch and recovery system. It also demonstrates India's growing capability to manage complex space mission involving crew safety and recovery operation. About preparatory work and infrastructures, major preparatory work for Gaganyaan has been completed. Propulsion system for the crew and service modules have been developed and tested. The environmental control and life support system engineering model is ready. Five types of motors for the crew escape system have been developed and statistically tested. Infrastructure such as the orbital module preparation facility, Gaganyaan control center, crew training facility, and the modification to the second launch pad have been established. About upcoming mission, following IADT1, ISRO plans additional test vehicles flights, including TVD2 and the uncrewed G1 mission. So this will help to validate crew escape mechanism, propulsion unit also, parachute system, and ground recovery operation. So the Gaganyaan program is a part of a broader roadmap that includes establishing the Bharatiya Antariksha Station by 2025 and an Indian moon landing by 2050. So these are about the current affair part 1 series. The next news we will learn in the next series. So kindly watch the next series. Thanks for watching. Stay consistent, read, revise, and note down all the important points. Best of luck for your forthcoming exam.